what's going on? Muriel from the Sunshine Family and pros and cons of living in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. That's my topic for today. And while our new cat Ollie is busy, you see over there, doing all kinds of stuff. He's our new kitten and he is obviously happy since he moved in here. I find corpses of mice everywhere in the house, which is actually fun. But I'm covering this topic because people ask me about Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, and how it is to live there. So I'm gonna start with the good news and then I'm gonna discuss the bad news. Basically, the pros first and then the cons. And before I do, first of all, I want to thank you for watching my videos. It's hammock style today. It's a bit wobbly. It's the end of the day, getting to sunset. And before I'm gonna dive in the pros and cons, this is an invite to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and hit that bell icon to get a notification every time I upload a new video. And that helped me to, you support that way my channel in growing and also in being more inspired to cover more topics, because every day I still receive questions about, Muriel, can you do this topic? Can you tell me more about this? And of course, I'm happy to do so. So go ahead, tap that little icon on the screen and hit the bell icon. So let's get started about Costa Rica, especially Santa Teresa. Well, I'm putting my thing down. Oh, I'm not gonna edit this out, guys. I hate editing videos. I just love to keep it simple. This is really not working, but okay, let me sit still. So I moved to Costa Rica 2018 with Dirk and our two kids, and we started in Santa Teresa. How did that happen? Well, we went on vacation in 2017. We fell in love with Costa Rica. We vacationed around, did like tryout vacation to check out which location we loved best to move. And we planted our flag in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa, for this reason. And these are actually the pros. So we fell in love with this place because, and this is something, if you ask local people who live here or expat people who live here for a longer time, local expat people, they all recognize this. You cannot explain it with words, but there's something magical in Santa Teresa. It's not a very fancy looking town. It has a dirt road. You know, but there is a feeling it gets you or it doesn't get you. And it got us. Funny enough, I saw the mud on the street and I know there was this smell on the street, but still there was something that attracted me a lot. Hi, Ollie. So, well, Ollie is hunting around. So yeah, we moved to Santa Teresa, Costa Rica in a rental of someone we knew by word of mouth, and she rented her house to us, which was a small place. It was great to get started and from there to search for a new house. So that's what we've done. Foster as planned. We found another house that was more outside of Santa Teresa in Santiago, which is at the end of the dirt road that runs through Santa Teresa, you know, along the ocean side. And we basically moved out, and I will tell you exactly why we did that. But first, what is so awesome about Santa Teresa? And by the way, we live now not in Santiago anymore, that is Santa Teresa, but close to Santa Teresa, really like a 7-minute drive down, between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on the quality of the roads. Funny enough, if you've never been here, probably you don't have any clue how that looks like, but trust me, just come here, you know what I mean. Now we live in San Isidro, close to the border of Delicias. It's more inward. It's more countryland. I come to that in a moment. But Santa Teresa is awesome for, of course, it's awesome, beautiful, epic beaches, and not just beaches. I think surfers call it the best surf beaches of the world. Some of the most best beaches, surf beaches of the world. So if you're a surfer or you love water sports, this is an epic place to be. Also because there's lots of choice. There's beginner oceans, there's more advanced oceans. You know, you can surf different ways here. It's for long boarders, for short boarders. So there's lots of choice. There's also lots of opportunity to get to know how to surf. So there are surf teachers here, especially in tourist season. Due to COVID, everyone had with traditional businesses a hard time here, but since the tourism is coming up again, businesses are flourishing up again. So also the surf teachers have more work, etc., etc. But this is, for the surfing, it's awesome. Okay. Also, what's the benefit of Santa Teresa? If you're here, you're also close to Montezuma and Cabuya, which are, because Santa Teresa is like the point of the peninsula, the Nicoya of the province Punta Arenas, which is a weird shape. Province Punta Arenas has this mainland and this peninsula, and we're at the bottom in Santa Teresa of the peninsula. Montezuma is at the other side of that little down point, that little triangle. We're right in the middle. Where we live right now, where you see me sitting, my property is in the middle of Montezuma, Cabuya and Santa Teresa. So it's like the same amount of time traveling to the beach of Montezuma, Cabuya or Santa Teresa. That's why we love this location. But if you're close to Santa Teresa, you're close to many other epic beaches. So there's a lot to explore here if you love beaches. Beach is key word for Santa Teresa, period. So what is also cool is that there is stuff to do. There's activities to do. There's like zip lining, you can hike here, there is surfing, like I said, there is a lot of yoga. You know what is so cool about this beach town is that for people who love to work out and are sportive, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of offers. So you can horseback ride, surfing, yoga, and everything in between. Like there's so much more that I'm not even aware of. Of course, there's Muay Thai, boxing, and normal boxing. We are part of this Muay Thai school. But there's more. There is a lot more. So there's a lot of activity here. Santa Teresa is an active beach town. So come and explore. I can really recommend you to just come and explore and take a vacation. And just see if you would like it to move here, if you're thinking about moving to Costa Rica and living in Santa Teresa. There's many restaurants, there's lots of different food. I love that about this beach town. So you can choose from sushi to local, like really, like there's lots of sodas. So depending on the budget, you can eat low budget, you can eat high end, and everything in between. There's a lot of people here totally in for vegan food. So there is a big choice. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you came to the right place. There is a big community supporting this. There's even an organic market. You will find many like-minded people if that type of food is totally your way of living. Come to Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, come live here. That's one of the things that I liked about it when I was checking it out, that you can really choose, right? Not that there is this limited amount of choice. So what I also like is that, like I said, depending on the budget, there is high end and low end and everything in between, also for accommodation. So there's really high end, very luxurious villas that you can buy, rent, or temporarily vacation in, long term, short term. But also low budget. I know people, they rent a place for a very tiny budget, they share with others, they have a great time. They eat rice and beans and in sodas, and they just enjoy the pura vida lifestyle. I love the freedom of choice here in Santa Teresa. So there's really, it is a good place for people from all walks of life. But there's like very hidden luxurious villas and mansions, like also hidden in the beach areas, but also in my area there is hidden places that is behind fences, in between the countryside, on the countryside, and people live there in peace and quiet. And there's enormous luxurious villas. So you can also build whatever you prefer. So if you want to have a freedom of choice, the Santa Teresa area is really also for people interested in real estate and building a house, building their dream house, an epic place. And there's a lot for sale right now. So come and check it out. What I also love is that, for the daily stuff, there's a doctor, there's a clinic close to Santa Teresa. In Santa Teresa, there is 2 to 3 lifeguard doctors, emergency posts. So, for emergency things that cannot wait to go to Clinica Biblica for when you broke a bone or something, like my daughter did, or something else. There is an emergency doctor of several locations on the coastline, along the coastline side of Costa Rica, Santa Teresa. So yeah, especially when you're here with kids, but also, you know, when you're a surfer or whatever, you need an emergency doctor. They are 24/7 open. So no matter if it's a small town, this stuff is well arranged. And they have good connections with Clinica Biblica, with the public and local hospitals in San Jose and Santa Ana. So I have good experiences with that. And if you have a good insurance, it's all covered. So check your insurance. What I also like is that there's a bank in Santa Teresa. So for your banking stuff, if you're a local or vacationing, you can get your money from the ATM. There's just one bank and one ATM. That's not so much choice. So it's always good to have cash in the pocket and several credit cards in case a card's not working whatsoever. No, there's actually 2 ATMs. I forgot. There's 2 ATMs. Or even 3 now. I think I'm a little bit behind. There are 3, but all in one location. So if you're at the end of the Santa Teresa area, closer to Hermosa, where also our restaurants are, you have to really drive totally back. It's like 15 minutes to the Playa Carmen cross, and there is the bank and and all the ATMs. So yeah, but it's a big benefit. There is a bank, right? Also for doing banking, you have access to the bank, and the bank is open here also several days and hours in the nighttime. So if you're working or you just like to surf all day, the bank is open in the nighttime. I think that's a benefit. That's a pro of living in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa. There is supermarkets here. There's a big range of choice, but not like in San Jose or Heredia or Santa Ana or the bigger cities close to Tamarindo. There is not big brands here. It's all local, small, and the stuff is available, but not as big as you're used to. There's not a Price Mart here, for example. So you have to pay attention to that. But that's later in the cons. So I think that was a lot of pros of living in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. So when we're talking about pros and cons of living in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, let me touch on the bad news. There is really bad news here. I'm not saying it's not elsewhere, but the bad news, the cons of living here, that's one of the reasons why I moved out of Santa Teresa. In high season, especially, I am a family with children, right? It is super noisy, depending on where you live. Of course, when you live more uphill, it's not that noisy. But in general, the noise spreads far. The houses are quite built in close to each other. So it's, space is rare. Even if it's a big house, you might have a very close neighbor. Pay attention to that. A second con of living in Santa Teresa is that the infrastructure is super bad. There is a bad smell. I already mentioned it in the beginning. There is a bad smell hanging in dry season, for example. There are so many houses built on a small area. The infrastructure is not built for it. So there's illegal drainages from, literally from toilets and houses that go straight in the ocean, going in small streams, finding its way to the ocean. Illegally, drainage, pipelines. It's freaking dirty, especially when there's lots of people and less rain or no rain. The smell hangs in town, and that's not really sexy. Okay, so pay attention to that. It can be very dusty, very, very dusty in dry season. So dusty that it feels like you're in a sandstorm in the desert. Sometimes I'm like, this is nuts, this is crazy. And I'm not a complainer or whiner, but a lot of accidents happen because of the bad infrastructure in the area of Santa Teresa, but also area Cabuya, Montezuma. Montezuma is even better, but area Santa Teresa, the infrastructure is so bad. There's big holes in the road. That means, and there's no pavement, so that means very dry and a lot of dust, like that you're breathing in. Like really, I hear people coughing, and people have. You cannot sit outside in front of a restaurant in dry season when the roads are not wetted by cars or by people making the roads wet, spraying the water on the roads. So basically, that is bad. That's such a con, and it's because I'm not a whiner. I still wonder, why is the government not fixing the roads here? The other hand is that bad infrastructure, bad roads, keeps a lot of people, a specific group of people, away from here. That keeps it kind of tranquilo here, so not too busy. What do I mean with that? Well, people who have the urgency to be close to a hospital or are not really that mobile, right? People in wheelchairs, and I hate to say it, but it's not wheelchair friendly here, not at all. It's really dangerous for everyone here to walk alongside of the road. The traffic is crazy. When there's lots of dust, there's holes, there's trucks, there's lots of construction in Santa Teresa. So I'm just continuing my cons, right? There's lots of construction, still new houses that's built, that is all transporting their stuff in big trucks coming from San Jose and outside of Santa Teresa town to the construction places over this small local road. So you can imagine that that road is bad news, you know. So pay attention where you walk. If you have young kids in dry season, take dust masks, not just masks, dust masks. And I would even consider, if you have young kids who have lung problems, stay away from the road, stay away from the dust, walk over the beaches and stuff. So you know, I'm just super transparent. Another con is, and my landlord that we rented from after moving out Santa Teresa, he built a brand new house in Santiago. That's, like I said, at the end of Santa Teresa, close to Hermosa Beach and Manzanillo. That's a small beach town. Straight up the hill is an area called Santiago. That has also ocean views, accommodations and stuff. We lived in the house for 8 months there, and he said, congratulations from moving out Santa Teresa, because in Santa Teresa is where all the thieves live. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of thieves and robberies more in Santa Teresa than outside. Like I said, it's not that it's the only place where thieves are. Thieves are all around the world, you know, not just Santa Teresa. So don't take me wrong, but in those little bungalows on the beach, in the crowded Santa Teresa, there's more thieves active. So pay attention, lock your stuff, bring your stuff with you. Don't trust on the lock of your door, because there's hunters hunting, looking exactly what time you're leaving your house, and you cannot leave keys, you know, under the pot next to your door anymore. I know it used to be like that, but it became too crowded. So there's criminality, these criminal things there, more than here on the countryside where I live. So, but like I said, also the cons are not too heavy compared to the pros. So like I said, that's why I started with the good news. The bad news is not that bad if you really enjoy the good news. And if you use your common sense, it's not that bad at all. There is a freedom of choice. Like I said, you can be in Santa Teresa a little bit outside of the crowded center, right? What I love is where I live. Literally since we found this property, I'm like, yeah, I always dreamed about living with an ocean view, like really from a stone, throwing a stone and that will fall in the ocean, that distance from the ocean. But now, beg your pardon, I see the benefit of living in the middle on the countryside. It's super quiet here. Now there is some traffic that I'm sitting in my front yard, right? So this is the dirt road going to Montezuma, and now in the tourist season there's quads driving by, trucks driving by, but from 5-6 after dark it's super quiet here. I almost have no neighbors here. There's a street with some people with properties, and we all live here because we enjoy the space and the quiet, the peace and quiet. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So if you were looking into living in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, I hope my video makes sense, but best is really to check it out yourself. The borders are open. What's stopping you to do a tryout vacation and see what you like best? And I think you have nothing to lose. It can be an awesome vacation in Santa Teresa. I come 5 times per week in Santa Teresa for my Muay Thai, for going to the beach. I really love the beaches there because it goes from Malpais to Santa Teresa to Playa Hermosa to Manzanillo. You can literally, like, it's an endless beach to walk on, almost without stopping if it's low tide. So that is, I love it. So yeah, I hope to meet you one day in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, especially when you're looking into living in Costa Rica, and you wonder how to generate an income in Costa Rica. Check out the description below my video, the first link, because I work fully online, and I think that's the best way in times of COVID and on certain brick and mortar businesses like Airbnbs and whatever that people were planning to do after moving to Costa Rica, living in Costa Rica. I think working online is the best option. So if you want to learn how that's possible for you, what it is that I do, click the first link below in the description and check out more information that I've sent there, that I shared there. And I also wrote a book, 7 Steps to Move to Costa Rica. You'll find it in the comments below and also in the description, and just take a look at if you're interested. It's just an option, not a must, in my life coaching, my digital products, my courses, etc. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. Give me your thumbs up, share my video, and of course reply below. I'm happy to get back to you. Ciao from Costa Rica, Santa Teresa.